Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and after what feels like a very long off season indeed, the CDL is finally back in business later on today. But before the CDL even kicks off, Infinity Ward are teasing the next Call of Duty coming out this year, with Scump and the other pros certainly giving their thoughts on what they would like that to look like. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Let's just dive straight into things. So yes, in a few minutes time here, we'll dive into the matchups later today, some predictions, all of that good stuff. It's good to be talking about Call of Duty again in actual matches that matter, right? Because the kickoff, it was exciting, but well, the matches actually mean something from now on. This also just to mention real quick, because the fantasy is still open, just a few more hours. I'm pretty sure when the games launch, the deadline is over for picking your guys' fantasy team. If you want to get involved, the link's down below. Draft buffs out of there now, so we're doing a draft rail ourselves over at the Breaking Point site. It's a good time. Got over like 5,000 signups, I'm pretty sure already, so that's pretty cool. If you guys want to get involved, feel free to do so. Prizes on offer as well. Enter completely for free, and it's going to be for the entirety of the Stage 1 qualifiers, really, so there's no chance to do it next week. So this is basically your last and final call up until the Major 1 begins. This is also from Chrome, because a couple of days ago, we looked at the fact that the silent plant in private matches is that, well, it wasn't working as intended, right? It was actually the fact that the player planting the bomb or defusing it was silent from their perspective, not from the perspective of the others listening, which we kind of thought, okay, maybe it's better for competitive play if plant and defuse is actually silent in Call of Duty, as it kind of has been in a lot of previous games. This year, it certainly wasn't the case, and when they tried to make it happen, it was basically, they did it wrong, right? And to be fair, Attach came back and Sledgehammer came back and they said, hey, look, we're looking into this, we're going to try and fix it. And indeed they did, right? They came out and actually fixed it yesterday. They put a hotfix out there, making it so that if you're defusing the bomb, the enemies that are nearby can't actually hear you. The problem is, when they introduced this patch, immediately afterwards, there was this bug that was the case, where if you shoot anyone that's planting or defusing the bomb, the game will just immediately crash. So it's just like every single time, something they change. And to be fair to Sledgehammer, they were really responsive to this. And, you know, at least with Sledgehammer, they might like not be the most competent developers in the world compared to, you know, what Trek has done for competitive, I suppose, in the past. But at least they listen, right? They're actually there. They're on Twitter. They're listening to the feedback of the pros, and they've made some significant upgrades, I think, well, so far in this game. So it's exciting to see. Hopefully we get some new and better maps into the game as well as time progresses. But yes, this was the thing where if someone's planting or defusing the bomb, someone tries to shoot at them, like, it would just immediately crash out the server, which obviously isn't so ideal. Now, in fairness to them, just a few hours later, they came up with a hot fix to this. As such, I'm going to say we've deployed a back-end fix. S&D private matches should now function properly with silent plant enabled, and now that has all been fixed. So I thought this might actually affect today's matches. Doesn't seem like it will. Another upgrade. I'm not sure exactly what patch they're going to be playing on, but I guess they're playing from home anyway. But I guess they have like CDL PCs or something. So I guess we'll see how this goes. But it is good to see Sledgehammer taking an upgrade here, really, in terms of, well, how exactly they're dealing with the competitive scene at the present time. This also from Crone, as he points out, sources say Toronto Ultra in discussions to fill the Challengers roster, partnered with Team Singularity. You guys might remember Team Singularity for a few years ago. They were, well, they were the organization that had insight in CleanX back in the good old days, right at the Black Ops 4 World Championship, where he was turning on X and all that type of good stuff. And, well, here we go. This is the full roster they're potentially going to be bringing in. Hixie is their substitute right now over at the Toronto Ultra. Diamondcon, Royalty, Exotic, and Hixie. That's pretty interesting, right? Because Diamondcon, Royalty, and Exotic, pretty sure they're all Canadian players. And then Hixie, of course, is over there from the UK as well. So that's pretty cool. They're bringing in the Challengers team. Do wonder whether other organizations will follow in these footsteps, because last year we saw that New York Subliners, they had an academy team for a bit. I'm pretty sure London gave one a go, or maybe like there was a brief period where London had an academy. And it might make sense, right, for some of these organizations try and foster the next up-and-coming team, especially if they believe that, well, you know, expansion might just be around the corner. Some of these guys could be perfect targets to sell on to other organizations as they might come in. So I think this is pretty cool to see. The challenger scene in general has been in a pretty tough state, not many organizations getting involved, and if Singularity are effectively going to run an organization again as they were back in Modern Warfare, when they had Immigrant Chain and these guys on their team at the start of Modern Warfare, when they actually, I'm pretty sure they won the Minnesota opening weekends. You might have actually been insight in that team as well. I forget exactly the roster of 5 they had at the time, but yeah, a legendary organization really in the challenger side. Good to see them getting back involved in Toronto, seemingly making some pretty good calls nowadays. Let's dive into this then from Infinity Ward, because well, 87,000 likes on this already. A new generation of Call of Duty is coming soon. Stay Frosty. So Stay Frosty is kind of like this classic soap quote, I guess, in Call of Duty. So maybe that means something about that. But yes, and like, I can't believe they get away with this every single year. They always talk about the new generation, the fact that this is going to be the most innovative game of all time. And I can't believe, like, honestly, if you look back at the marketing stuff for these last several games, I swear it's just copy and paste. You'd have thought, given all the innovation they talk about they're doing, that have come up with a slightly more innovative marketing slogan. But this is what they say. Like, I'm confirming Infinity Ward's developing this year's COD. The team is working on the most ambitious plan in franchise history, with industry-leading innovation innovation and a broadly appealing franchise setting. So like they honestly always, it's ambitious and it's innovation. Every year they always say this. Now look, does this mean they're going to change anything significant, or is it just going to be Modern Warfare 2, which we imagine it will be? They get everyone hyped up about, wow, this game's going to be so innovative, but of course whatever innovations they do come up with, you can imagine it's not going to be particularly good for competitive play, as it tends to be. But I guess the idea that there might be some like ambition here, right, and some additional innovation, that is certainly making people excited that we might be going back to a time, or at least well, taking another step in Call of Duty, which might make things interesting for competitive, right? Because when Jetpacks came in back in Advanced Warfare, they were treated with like, hey, wow, what is this? What's going on? And then by the time we got to Infinite Warfare, people absolutely hated Jetpacks, even in the competitive scene. Certainly in the casual scene, like casual players really didn't like Jetpacks, right? Because well, I think in general it was because the skill gap in terms of movement and all that stuff was so high. It was so much fun to either be like a decent player in public matches, especially with no skill-based matchmaking. It you know, just like you could just world star people all over the park, and it was just those are the most fun games I think I had for playing, really, especially Black Ops 3. Like tough to beat that, frankly. But anyways, Attach says Jetpacks are back, because that's how some people are interpreting this new generation. That okay, maybe it's time to actually bring Jetpacks back, because I'm pretty sure I heard a couple of years ago that someone at one of the developers or Activision or something was saying that at some point Jetpacks, or at least they were considering making the return, just because Infinite Warfare was like a good game, but they consider it to be released at the wrong time, and that like the community hatred for Jetpacks was kind of building up at that point when Infinite Warfare was released. You guys might remember that trailer that has millions of dislikes or something. It was just kind of at the wrong time. But maybe like at another time like now, where people seem to kind of be in favor of going back to a Jetpack advanced movement type era, now could be the time to do it. Not saying they will do it. It seems unlikely that Modern Warfare 2 would have something like this, but certainly pros have been asking for it. Scump most especially, as he says right here, bring it back Jetpacks. And while Simp goes, I'm down in the replies. I was listening to Simp talk to Attach on the Stay Attach podcast, and he was saying how he reckons Black Ops 3 was actually his best game he ever plays, which you know, pretty incredible given how Simp has, well, how good Simp has been in the last several years. But yeah, Scump, a lot of the other pros, they want Jetpacks back in business. I think a lot of them have got pretty tired of this boots on the ground era, and you know, really reminisce on a lot of the Jetpack games being some of the best we actually had for competitive play. There might have been other factors involved there than just the advanced movement, and of course you've got to consider the Warzone feature as well. In fairness, I'm pretty sure, was it called Blackout, right? The Black Ops 4, like whatever they had there for the Battle Royale, like that game had jetpacks for a bit, or they had something where you could use a jetpack. It was a bit strange, but maybe it's something that could happen. It might not be that the favorite of the casual players, though. I think that's kind of the concern here, that they wouldn't do this because I think the casual players aren't going to like it, because they get turned on by some guy because he's flying through the air. Like you know, you get some issues as a result. But I think honestly, in terms of enjoyment of Call of Duty, I can understand why a lot of the pros want this one back. We see this also from Dashy in the reply. Co-sign this one, absolutely, says Scump. So he's 100% on board to make this transition and make it happen. No, look, whether Infinity will actually follow through with this, it's somewhat unlikely. But still, what could their new generation be? What are they planning here? Unless it's something movement related, even if it's not jetpacks, maybe it's something additional on the movement front that the pros can kind of abuse and take to a new level. But hopefully it's not like a super slide or something, because I mean, yeah, sliding has obviously been a point of controversy the last couple of years as well. Formal also drops the kind of thinking emoji as well, right? Because he had a great time back on the jetpack games. Infinite Warfare especially, you guys well know that Infinite Warfare Champs Formal, probably the best individual performance of all time at any Call of Duty event. I think he had a 1.44 when Optic won that World Championship. And I mean, yeah, still Formal, who knows, is he going to make the return if Halo Infinite isn't really working out by the time this game is released, if it has jetpacks, which of course is well, certainly wishful thinking, you could argue. This also I thought was interesting though, because it was noted that Scump tweeted out back in 2017, jetpacks in Call of Duty suck, right? So I think this is, I guess, before they won the World Championship, 31st of May in that year, and they went on to win the World Championship a couple of months later. But I mean, still, does just go to show how quickly the Call of Duty community changes really perceptions, right? Because I mean, several years ago, this was kind of the prevailing wisdom that yeah, jetpacks in Call of Duty, they've got to go, they've got to get out of here. People were really excited to go back to World War II, a boots on the ground game, and kind of expose the jetpackers, right? And nowadays, the tides have turned once again. It's always an interesting one, but well, hopefully they do something actually ambitious and innovative, right? Because we haven't really seen that the last several years, every single time they promise it. But well, look, I'm not holding out hope, let's just say that one, but intrigued to your perspective, no doubt, in the comment section below. Let's dive in then to the games going on later today. So as Ben J. Asim says, he's of course working with Esports Engine on the Call of Duty League opening weekends with the talent broadcast crew. CDL staff excited for y'all to see what the squad has in store for you over the next few days on the broadcast to kick off the season. So well, good to see if Ben's pretty excited about what they've got planned on the broadcast side, maybe much better than what we saw last year, because they just got so repetitive last year, right? The broadcast that the CDL was putting on. Hopefully Esports Engine can take that up to the next level. This also, because one of the games later today is Ravens versus Mutineers, pretty sure the first one, and well, Mutineers are certainly throwing some shots. How many matches going to win this weekend, and well, they reckon 0. We will see if that works out. This also just to mention, because the Call of Duty League, you don't usually see them going rogue on the timeline, but I thought this was great, really. Like, Twitter Gaming said, okay, only one COD League team can be my favorite. NBA 2K League come in the replies, and the COD League just straight dropped the ratio on them with the who. Like, I thought this is fantastic, really. Kind of funny, really, because Daniel Sai, the kind of commissioner or whatever of the Call of Duty League, he used to work in the NBA 2K League, so he kind of roasting himself there, I suppose. But I guess he's not the one managing these social medias. These then are the matches for this week. So we looked at this a few days ago, actually. If you guys want to pause, check out the matches, feel free to do so. But these are the games for the day. So first of all, at 3 p.m. Eastern, same time as last year, right? So it's 8 p.m. GMT, like I guess 12 p.m. Pacific, it actually says right here. Ravens versus Mutineers. I want to say that Ravens win this. I think Mutineers should probably be favourites. But yeah, I'm going to back my boys over in London. Then we've got Boston versus Los Angeles Guerrillas. Really interesting series. Excited to see if Los Angeles Guerrillas can possibly bounce back from how they performed at the kickoff. They didn't look very good against Florida at all. Boston, of course, lost the Game 5 to New York there. But especially online, I think I'm going to take Boston here. Just because the likes of Capsule and Nero and that, they played their first series on LAN. I think online, they should probably be favourites here against LAG. And then you've got New York versus Surge. A rematch of what was the semi-finals, I think, right at the kickoff classic, where Surge beat New York pretty comfortably. Honestly, I might well expect them to do that again. I think right now, Surge are straight up a better team than New York, probably in every single game mode. And what we saw at New York from the kickoff was pretty good at times, but especially given the fact that Crimsix has been talking about that a lot of their players, they're unwell, like there's injuries and stuff going on with the New York squad. Doesn't seem like they're going to be well prepared against a Seattle squad that definitely has not taken their foot off the gas. So to me, I'm going to go London, Boston, and Surge. If I get 2 out of 3, that wouldn't be all that bad. And well, yes, Los Angeles Guerrillas kicking off their campaign today. Just wanted to shout out this beautiful piece of content they put out, honestly, with the 4 players on their roster. How long will this team last? I guess we'll see, especially if they underperform as they did at the kickoff. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I hope grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.